I have become a huge fan of the Pandora's Box gaming systems. They are so simple and easy to use and make it easy for anyone to have an arcade set up in their own home. I actually have one in my own home arcade in the basement right there in the back. It's actually from the same company, GWALSNTH, and today I have one of their other Pandora Box plug-and-play arcade systems that I cannot wait to show you. Let's take a look at it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Phase Reviews YouTube channel. My name is Jordan. If you're new here, thank you for joining me. If you're a subscriber, welcome back as always. A little while back, a couple months I think, I took a look at my very first plug-and-play arcade system, which was from the company GWALSNTH. It was very impressive. I loved how easy to use it was. While it wasn't perfect emulation and perfectly smooth all the time, it did a fantastic job for a casual gamer like myself. GWALSNTH reached out to me. They said, we have another model that we would love for you to take a look at. They sent this to me for review, but I will share my uncensored opinion with you. There is no directives and no compensation for this besides the product itself. And so I'll tell you the good and the bad of this version. Now, this one has, like the other, over 20,000 games on it, except instead of a single two-player unit, it's split up into two individual consoles. We're going to show you what's in the box. I'm going to walk you through play setup and how you use it, all of the features, what I love and what I don't love, and let you know my final thoughts on whether I think it's worth picking up. Before I do that, make sure that you leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos coming out in the future. Enough about that. Let's take a look at this GWALSNTH plug-and-play arcade system. Lately, I've been doing separate unboxing videos and overlaying them, but I did want to show you how this comes packaged right on camera, real time. I played with this before and then I packed it all back up so you could see after I did some testing. Now, when you open up the box itself, inside you're going to have all of your accessories on the top, okay? What's included with this system in particular is going to be an HDMI cable, as well as your computer cable if you want to hook it up to like a CRT. You've got both of those options, or an LCD screen, I think. They do include a pair of extra buttons. These are the clicky variety. You're going to get a very, very vague, minimal user guide, which honestly for me wasn't much help, but they do include that. And you're going to get this cable. I was originally confused, like, is this another display cable? But this is actually how you link up the two individual arcade system units. So we'll plug that in and you'll see it in just a moment. The last thing on top before we get to the consoles themselves are the two joysticks. They come separate and you just screw them in to the top. So we've got two of the individual units in here. Oh, one other thing, of course, your power cord, DC to AC wall plug, or AC to DC. Very standard for systems like this. Now, this is what one of the consoles looks like. It's very similar in design to the two-player model I looked at before, except now it's shrunk down half the size and one person can play on a more compact unit. Now, taking our joystick, we can just screw that into the top here. You're going to see to the side of the joystick, you're going to get, oh, if I can get that, there we go. You're going to get your three buttons, ABC, and three below, DEF, for a total of 6. That is there for your fighting games, your more involved gaming situations. Up above that, you've got your coin and your player one start, similar to the other systems I've reviewed. Now, around the back, let me show you that, okay? You're going to have a few different things. You're going to have a power toggle switch. You're going to have the connection for that large cable to connect player 1 and player 2. Then you've got a couple USB for additional paddle controllers. You've got a memory card, which is holding all of the software, a volume control, because this does have a built-in speaker, a reset button to take you to the menu, a plug for the computer cable and your HDMI. Then you have your power socket. Okay, that's all of the ins and outs on the player 1 console. The player 2 is a little simpler, okay? It looks the same on the surface, and then around the back, the only connection you're going to have is the computer cable to connect over to the player 1 unit. Okay, so let me screw this joystick in, and then what I will do is move this box off the top, and I can show you how easy it is to set this system up. So player 2, player 1, they do have suction cups on the bottom. I'm guessing, I guess for surfaces like this, it keeps it in place. This is wood. It's not completely like flat. If you had a glass table or something, I imagine that would work a little better. Okay, but we got our two units here. This is my player 2, player 1. We just take this cable. It's got the little screws on the ends. Just hook that onto the socket. Make sure you've got it facing the right way, like that, and then just screw it in. So you can play without the second player unit attached. You can play with just the one console if you are only doing the solo, which is really nice. You don't have to have them both hooked up to use it, okay? And then all you would need to do after that is just plug it into your TV with most likely the HDMI. Now, we have our power cable, we have our spare buttons, everything you need to get going. So let me overlay some footage of my daughter and my wife using this. The big thing with this system is two people can play. They don't have to be jammed right next to each other. They can kind of be spread out. This operates on the Pandora's Box all-in-one gaming system model. It has a ton of different emulators and ROMs, over 20,000 in this particular model. Now, with that being said, like the previous versions I've looked at, you're gonna have a lot of copies, a lot of repeats. You're gonna see in the video, the first clip, that there's like a million King of Fighters from every console and era, duplicates. Sometimes there's weird versions in other languages that you don't understand, but on the whole, all of your classics from your Donkey Kong, your Pac-Man, your Galaga, Simpsons, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, NBA Jam, all that stuff is going to be present. Whether or not it works flawlessly will just depend on the individual title. Now, I've said this in past videos, but for the casual gamer, someone who doesn't own a ton of real arcade games or play them super frequently, this is going to be more than passable. It's really fun to have when your friends come over, your family members, just something for them to mess around on. They're not going to know the difference unless they're really into old school video games, and we have had hours and hours of fun with these systems. I've set them up for parties, had them on in the background, and people were constantly rotating on and off them trying to find their favorite games. This particular Pandora's Box does have a search functionality as well as a recently played functionality. You cannot favorite games, but you can search for titles that you want. It is a little tough to navigate the menu because the joystick is very sensitive. If you push it for too long, it'll zoom past the letter you want. All in all, though, the operating system is passable. Now, one setting that you do need to access using the settings button, the tiny black button on the back of the console, is you need to change the ability to exit the game from the default setting, which I don't know what it is, to press and hold the start button for 3 seconds. I couldn't figure out how to exit different games and go back to the menu without completely turning the picture or the console on and off. Off and on, I should say, until I went into the settings menu and changed that setting in particular, the exit game mode. You need to change that to the hold start button for 3 seconds. Other than that, though, it's functioned flawlessly. You can use the volume on the back to use the built-in speakers, or if you just want to turn that all the way down, you can use your TV's built-in speakers. This has been super fun. I'm glad I have multiple now. I just have got them set up throughout my man cave down here, and people love playing around on them. So if you prefer to have your player 1 and player 2 separated, but an overall generally similar experience, you can look into this specific model. I'll link it down below. I'll also reference the video from the first review that I did of GWALSNTH, where I looked at the combined model if you prefer that setup. Thank you so much for watching. Before you go, make sure you subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave a comment, like the video. All of that helps me to keep bringing you content each and every week. That's going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.